Te rea te waka, te rea ki uta, te rea ki tai, te rea ki te moana nui, te moana roa, te moana uri uri, te whakaterenga matua o ngā mātua tūpuna whāno. Whāno, hara mai te tō ki o haumi e, hui e, tai ki e. This week, on The Hui.
Paramount Chief Tumu Te Heuheu's last fight for his people.
You are putting the Crown on notice now.
Well, yes, it is actually. In order to ensure that the maunga is protected and that our people collectively are being acknowledged and cared for in the best possible way.
Plus the promising fashion designer who has been inspired by whakapapa.
I love what I do. I love designing clothes, making clothes.
Vince Ropitini is now making his mark across the ditch.
Ngā mate o te wā, haramai, haere. Tātou kei te pito ora ti he wa mauri ora, and welcome back to The Hui. Ko Tongariro te maunga, ko taupō nui ātia te moana, ko Ngāti Tūwharetoa te iwi, ko te Heuheu, te tangata. In 1886, Ngāti Tūwharetoa Ariki, or Paramount Chief Horonuku te Heuheu, undertook a tuku of the mountain peaks of Tongariro, Ngauruhoe and Ruapehu. It led to the establishment of the first national park in Aotearoa, Tongariro. The tuku was interpreted as a gift, but for the current Ariki of Ngāti Tūwharetoa, Sir Tumu Te Heuheu, and for the people of Ngāti Tūwharetoa and other iwi with whakapapa to those mountains, the original intention was for partnership to oversee the park and maunga between the Crown and Māori. In their view, this has never happened. And recent decisions by the Crown, including concessions to operate the whakapapa ski field, have made things worse. Now, Sir Tumu Te Heuheu has had enough. In this heartfelt, resolute and exclusive interview, the Odiki makes clear his aspirations for Tongariro Mountain and the Tongariro National Park. His view on the relationship between Ngāti Tūwharetoa and the current government, and the fight he calls the last great battle of his life. It has come time now, do you think, for the maunga and the national park to be returned to Tuaretoa?
Very much so. Very much so.
That is a strong position to take, e taku Ariki. What you've just said is something we've never heard before. The return of the maunga and the national park. What do you think your tupuna was trying to achieve with the tuku? And it has been called a gift undertaken in the 1880s. In your view, what was your tupuna horonuku trying to do with the tuku?
To bring our people together, to bring the Crown and Māoridom together, but also to ensure that the Tongariro maunga was well protected. And by doing that, the Crown weren't in support at that time in his request. So they declared the national park over the taonga.
How would you describe the relationship between Tūwharetoa and the Crown, specifically when it comes to the tuku that we're talking about now?
The relationship has never improved, if I can put it that way. It's a tono that we continually bring forward in the hope that the Crown will, at some stage, do what's right.
By do what's right, what do you mean?
Doing what's right is about working collectively for the benefit of our people. The unity with the Crown and with our people. It will never change.
When it comes to the tuku, you want that returned?
Yes.
And by that we're talking about the maunga and the national park?
Maunga, that's right, yes.
New Zealanders see themselves at one with the park now. What do you say to those people?
The National Park of Tongariro is a World Heritage status, similar to many of the important sites throughout the world. And I was very fortunate in participating in the World Heritage process to bring our people together, not just Māori, but our people collectively together for the protection of those sites. And Tongariro is very much one of those. It's like the rock in Australia.
Tapu tapu Aotearoa and Tauriti.
Yeah. We can just look out the window at this World Heritage site that we're trying to make sure is protected appropriately. And this is where the Crown has a role to play. If the maunga is returned, then, the tuku has been achieved. Not only for Tuaratoriki, but for all the other iwi as well. And the aspiration is that the Crown will actually support and facilitate.
Do you honestly believe that will happen?
I have to say yes, as difficult as it might be at this stage. But the Crown is there not only for itself, for Parliament, but also for the people. It has a role in that area. Tuaratoriki and the other iwi will continue to pursue what is appropriate for the maunga. And hopefully, at some stage, the Crown will concede and agree to work together with the Tuaratoriki. The Prime Minister was due to travel here to touch base, but I haven't seen him yet.
The Crown should have come to the maunga
Yeah.
a long time ago.
Yes, very much so. There is still a confidence that we will achieve what is appropriate for Tongariro. And that includes working with the Crown.
When we talk about the tuku, we are not just talking about Tongariro, are we?
We're talking about Tongariro, but also about the other iwi that have a role to play. The aspiration is working together for the benefit of the maunga.
What is stopping that? What is the biggest barrier to your aspirations now regarding this issue?
The fact that the Crown is not involved doesn't provide support to the aspirations of our people. And until there's a change in that process with the Crown, Tuaratoriki will continue to work as hard as it can, I suppose, for the benefit of our people and also for the benefit of the other iwi. So the Crown is a part of the kaupapa. Sadly, it's not coming together.
The Crown has the opportunity to achieve your aspirations and show its support for what was originally intended
Yes.
by the tuku. If it does not show that support, what happens?
Is that we will need to go to the courts and have the courts consider our request.
You're giving the Crown the chance to avoid all that now, aren't you?
Yes,
And if it doesn't, the battle lines are drawn.
that's right. We can't give away anything.
You are putting the Crown on notice
Yes.
now.
After the break, part 2 of our interview with Tuwharetoa Ariki Tumu te Heuheu.
How are you?
Not well.
Is this potentially your last great battle?
I think it is.
No mai anō ki tātou tauhui. In part 2 of our exclusive interview with Tuaratoriki Ariki Tumu te Heuheu, he reveals the state of his health as he approaches his 84th birthday next week. When we first sat down to talk to each other in 2008, you told me what you wanted to achieve in your time as the Ariki of Tuaratoriki.
There was a need to talk with all people in order to improve our situation. Its importance is for the motu. So our responsibility is beyond our tribal our rohe.
Has anything changed?
No, nothing has changed necessarily, but the pathway we've moved forward has been a pathway that was set not by me but by my father, Sir Hippie. A long journey, but it's been positive for the benefit of not only Tuwharetoa but our people collectively.
Māoridom sees you as being a leader for all of us. How do you balance the duality of that role?
The role is a single kaupapa. It doesn't change whether it's for Tuwharetoa or for the rest of the iwi. The clarity is that the thinking of our people collectively gives you a kind reminder about who you are and what your responsibility is. It's going to be difficult given the Crown's present position. There's been no response at all or clarity to our people that we're supported in the aspirations that we want to achieve. The Crown hasn't changed its position or its stance. So there's still a long pathway to travel in order for us to achieve the outcomes that we need to have for the future.
When you see this government talk about te tiriti in the way that it talks, how do you react?
I'm disappointed, really. And all I can do then is to continue the journey that we've embarked on as Tuwharetoa, but as a collective for Māoridom.
Can Māoridom really achieve kotahitanga?
I think they can. And that journey was about working together, travelling together and working together for a common purpose.
And do you see your role and your own responsibility in continuing to represent that kotahitanga now with Queen Ngā Waihono i Tapu?
That's a responsibility that I can't ignore. My responsibility is to pursue the journey that was embarked upon, firstly by Tuhetia and then by the rest of our people, the rest of the country.
How are you?
Physically, not well. My aspiration is to continue to try and put things right, whatever that might mean. The arakitanga is there to help, but our people are also important in terms of that journey. Without them, we have nothing.
But when you say not well, what do you mean?
I had a fall some time ago. The results of that fall are still with me. In other words, the pain continues. I'm pleased to say that as difficult as things might be, I feel confident about the pathway moving forward to the responsibility of the arikitanga. I can't take that away. And that's a whakaaro that also keeps me functioning.
What is left to do?
I suppose the major concern, the protection, leadership and guidance of our people. Working together is the way forward for all of us. The journey of the arikitanga. It wasn't something that I agreed to do. It was something that I was told to do.
Are you more confident now that Māoridom Tūwharetoa, Māoridom, is in a position to be able to achieve your aspirations, whakotahitanga, collectivism?
Yes, I am. I have every confidence at this stage that our people are on the right track. And the right track is about working together for a common purpose. Without that mahi, the next generation will suffer.
Are you proud of the fact that you have been able to create change and have contributed significantly to Māoridom for those aspirations to be achieved?
I'm really pleased that we've been able to provide the appropriate pathway to move forward into the future. I'm really pleased to ensure that maunga is protected and that our people collectively are being acknowledged and cared for in the best possible way, moving forward for the next generation.
You are now calling for the maunga and the national park to be returned to you and to your people of Tūwharetoa. Is this potentially your last great battle?
I think it is.
E taku ariki, ngā mana ki tanga nui ki a koe. Ngā mana ki tanga nui ki a. Me te aroha o te iwi Māori ki a koe. Tēnā koe.
Kia ora.
Ngā manaakitanga ki te ariki. Taro kau iho ana, e ngai iwi he mahi whatu, he oranga ngākau. A talented designer shares his mahi and its growing popularity across the ditch. He huinga oranga tangata, he huinga ahurea tā tātou hui e. Vince Ropitini is considered one of the most promising young fashion designers in Aotearoa. The 23-year-old ngā ruahinerangi Ngāti Mutunga and Te Whakatō He Uri is drawing praise for his clothing, which draws its inspiration from his Taranaki roots and te ao Māori. Now Vince is ready to share his designs out to the rest of the world. Reporter John Boynton met him at his new base in Melbourne.
With my work so rooted in te ao Māori, being anywhere outside of Aotearoa, it feels a bit contradicting.
23-year-old Taranaki fashion designer Vince Ropitini is making his way out into the world.
Considered moving overseas for a couple years now, but now that I'm here, it's a big culture shock. But I think it's also a necessary change for me.
Vince has just moved to Melbourne. He's flatting with his friend and fellow fashion designer, Mana.
Living with a good group of, creative people, there's always that fun, and plus all of us being from back home, it feels like I'm not too far away at all.
Vince is juggling his fashion dreams with full-time mahi.
How hard is it to make it in the fashion industry as a designer?
You don't see too many people sort of cracking it in a way. I love what I do. I love designing clothes, making clothes. I want to make it in the industry. I grew up in Taranaki, right in New Plymouth. Growing up, I was always painting or playing music, always drawing.
As a teenager, Vince Ropitini was always guided by his artistic flair.
Creativity is a really good way of being able to express yourself and who you are. I'm not a very outgoing person as it is, so if I can use other forms of like sharing my ideas or what I believe in, I think that's quite cool.
He'd eventually turn his creative energy into designing and making his own clothes.
My nan, she gave me her old sewing machine to use in high school, and then I also learned through my mum, who was into quilting, so she showed me the ropes a bit. Being in high school, was like I couldn't afford all the cool clothes, so go to the op shop, get something for $1 or $2, and then I can cut it up, paint on it, print on it, and then make it like unique. Every now and then people make a comment like, oh, guys shouldn't be getting into, sewing, like, what are you doing?
That didn't hold you back?
Nah, it kind of pushed me a bit more, I think.
Vince was also inspired by the online fashion community.
I was able to sort of use Instagram as an outlet for me to show off my outfits and meet a bunch of other creatives and people into fashion across New Zealand and even the world.
After high school, he enrolled at fashion design at Massey University in Wellington.
Fashion school is pretty intense. It's, it takes a lot of effort, like a lot of late nights, a lot of just working. There was a good group of us, through uni that all stuck together, got each other's backs. You always know that somebody's going to give you feedback, good or bad, but that's what you need. In a creative industry, you need people to be just real.
He also formed a real sense of the designer he wanted to be.
I'd say most of my design comes from a personal reflection and sort of my desire to reconnect with te ao Māori and my whakapapa.
In particular, the history of Parihaka.
The story and the community of Parihaka, it's just really inspiring.
In the late 1800s, the Taranaki community practiced passive resistance amid land confiscation by the Crown. The movement was led by Tohu Kākahi and Te Whitsi o Rongomai.
I feel like everybody in New Zealand should know of that story, and the way that Tohu and Te Whitsi were able to lead this community is really motivating way of, I think, living. Peaceful, passive, but, being so steadfast and strong.
Parihaka would form the backbone of his first major fashion collection, the art of passive resistance.
Throughout the whole process, I was just researching and reading and learning, and then being able to translate these ideas and stories into clothes.
The collection ranges from sophisticated tailored wear.
I used a range of materials, a lot of recycled cotton, some wool for the tailoring. European would, trade wool blankets for land, and I think making that connection within the collection is quite interesting. I've got the use of cotton shirting that sort of represents the nice tailored white shirts that again were also traded.
To streetwear-inspired looks influenced by contemporary Māori art.
There's aspects of printing and painting, the use of text, symbolism. I tried to recreate some of the traditional Māori dye processing. If you look at some of the pants, there's this sort of washed, murky black.
A lot of depth there, isn't there?
Yeah. A lot of reference and a lot of thinking behind all the material choices and techniques used within the collection.
Earlier this year, Vince would have a major breakthrough with his collection at the 2025 ID International Emerging Designer Awards in Dunedin.
it felt like a really special moment to be able to show it there, as well as being surrounded by like my friends that were also at the runway, meeting a whole bunch of designers from across the world.
Vince won 2 awards, including being named the Viva Top New Zealand Designer.
Really grateful for the opportunity to, be named that. And it kind of solidified the idea to me that there is a need for Māori fashion design, Māori menswear at the moment.
The award has given Vince the momentum to take the next step in his career. He set up his studio at his whare.
Next up will be, developing a new collection, developing these new styles. From there, hopefully just getting it out into the world for people to be able to purchase or to wear, just continuing to share my story.
He hopes more young Māori designers will share their own stories through fashion.
To have other young Māori work with me, work for me, to provide opportunities to those who maybe never considered that fashion as a pathway for young Māori men. There's really a space for Māori fashion to be seen internationally, to bring te ao Māori to the world and really share what our culture is and how important it is for people to see who we are.
Tangata whai pukenga ne. Our thanks to all our pūkorero for this week's hui. It's been a biggie. And particular thanks to Ngāti Tūwharetoa Ariki, Sir Tumu te Heuheu, his wife Lady Susan, their tamariki mokopuna, all the whānau of Ngāti Turumakina, and Ngāti Tūwharetoa whānui. Now join us next week, where we will be in collaboration with Te Ao Māori News for our Tāmaki Makaurau by-election special, live from Orake Marae. Until then, e ngai iwi kia mau, ki te tūranga o Taputawa Aotearoa haumi e, hui e, taiki e. Nā te puna whakatongarewa, te hui, I tautoko.